Folks, something very weird happened this week. Let me rephrase that. Something very weird that did not involve George Santos, Donald Trump, or Clarence Thomas happened this week. And it's actually related to a story that we talked about last week. Now, last week, told you the story about how Representatives Matt Gaetz and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and a couple other Democrats and Republicans, not to demean, their involvement in this, but they've all put forth legislation together, bipartisan bill, to ban members of Congress from trading individual stocks, and their families would be banned from trading individual stocks. As a result of this working together, AOC and Matt Gaetz, Fox News this week decided to, during an episode of The Five, somehow imply that Matt Gaetz may leave his wife for AOC. Now, this was not on Greg Gutfeld's comedy show, if you can call it that. This was on their real, The Five, where they're not supposed to be telling jokes. They're supposed to actually be doing news, but instead, they wanted to talk about maybe Matt Gaetz is going to leave his wife for AOC. Well, this pissed off Matt Gaetz. Rightfully so, I will add. This is the only time I'm ever going to take his side. But also, what Matt Gaetz said on his podcast this week about the way that these Fox News hosts talk about AOC, he came to her defense, and it was a good defense. Again, kudos to Matt Gaetz for doing this, but let me read you what Matt Gaetz said, because I'm still kind of in shock that this came from him. He said, quote, "I've got a bone to pick with the Five. It does seem a little childish to me that the media always has to over-sexualize everything that AOC is involved with. They wouldn't do that to men. And then Judge Jeanine, who starts out saying, 'I am happily married,' Judge Jeanine, who was sitting at my table at Mar-a-Lago the night I proposed to my wife. By the end of the Greg Gutfeld rant, she's bailed and she's wanting to be the officiant for me and AOC. So shame on you, Judge Jeanine." He also at one point called their behavior childish. He's not wrong. And again, go check and make sure hell didn't freeze over as I'm sitting here telling you that Matt Gaetz is right. And I am glad that he did come to her defense and pointed out, I guess, that it's not even just Fox News. It is all the media coverage of AOC, and always has been, this over-sexualized coverage. Everything about her policy positions, her stances on the issues, the speeches that she gives, what she does in those House hearings, all of it gets overshadowed by, look what she's wearing. Oh, she's working with Matt Gaetz. They must have a thing going on. You, media, cannot stop yourself from thinking of her as nothing more than just a pretty face who's probably just flirty and doing whatever, and everybody wants to date her. It's sickening. It truly is. Matt Gaetz is absolutely 100% correct about that. She is an intelligent, well-educated human being that is out there fighting to do good in this country, and there's not enough people like her. She's doing what's right. I respect her. I like what she does. And the media just can't get over the fact that here we have a woman, a young woman, so clearly we need to talk about how she looks and how she dresses and how she presents herself, rather than the content of her character, and of course, the caliber of her effectiveness in Congress. That's what Matt Gaetz, in his own way, is pointing out here. And again, as shocking as it is to say this, he's right. And I'm actually proud of him for coming to her defense. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.